Welcome everybody to our RealBird hands-on workshop. Glad to be here today. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be starting top of the hour in a few moments. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be starting a webinar in just another minute or so. Thanks for joining us. Glad you could be here today. Welcome everybody to our RealBird Hands-On Workshop. We're glad you could be here today. You know, we're want to thank you for coming to our webinars. We do these a couple times a month to help you learn how to use and how to leverage the RealBird toolbox to be successful in real estate. And it's all about generating leads, obviously generating seller and buyer leads. Today we're going to focus on generating seller leads, people that might be interested in seeing you as a real estate sales professional and someone that they would trust to market and sell their home. Good morning. My name is Eric Seabarth with Agent Web Coach. I'm a guest trainer on this presentation here, this workshop here today. I'm not alone. I'm joined in behind the scenes by one of the owners and developers of RealBird, Gabe Gross. He's with us today. Hey, Gabe. Good morning. Welcome. Thanks for bringing up this topic.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. I'm in Redwood City, where summer it's raining a little bit.
If it's California, they always need rain, no matter what time of the year it is. Great. Okay, so we're going to dive right into our content here today. And just to let you know, we will be recording this, and it will be available. Everybody that's registered, even if you had to leave halfway through to answer a lead call, because we know we wanted those leads are important. But we appreciate you taking the time to learn a little bit here too. We're recording, going to have a little bit of technical training and a little bit of how-to and why you should. And so that we're recording that so that you can watch it again and hopefully capture what you missed, so you don't have to be taking notes all the time, but feel free to. Okay, so what is this world that we call it? Okay, Facebook. We've been talking actually the last couple webinars about how to leverage social media. The biggest one being Facebook. It's definitely the biggest one. I think it's one. It's in the billions now with how many people are on Facebook. I know a lot of real estate agents had shifted their marketing to what I call market to the haven't mets. That is the people that don't know you. You know, for years it was if you're going to market your haven't mets, you'd use Google, and there's still quite a few agents that use Google to do a pay-per-click ad or to attract people to come and see what you have to sell or offer or what you're an expert in, and that's fine. Google pay-per-click, you definitely can do that, but I'm going to tell you, most real estate agents have shifted their outbound marketing efforts to people they don't know to Facebook within this what called this Facebook sphere of influence or social network. And they found that they've got a lot more opportunity to connect with more people. And there were some people that will tell you out there that, hey, you know, Google pay-per-click still work, and they do, but you're going to pay-per-clicks, and if you're going to pay someone and put something in front of people that are going to be inside Google seeing what you have to offer, of course, you got to compete with the Zillows, the Redfins, and the Realtor.coms, because in a lot of those spots, they not only I should just show you. They not only are put here where I live here. Not that someone's going to search for that. I'm just showing this as an example. And so what you have is first of all, a lot of the ads on the bottom on the right hand side have disappeared. The now ads show on the bottom and the top, and that's because Google knows that more than 50% of you or anybody is online, and online on a mobile phone or tablet, you don't see the sidebar anyway, it's at the bottom. So they're putting their ads just to the top. Let's see, ads. There's 4 ads now, so there used to be 3 on top, and here there's 3 on the bottom. And this is getting harder and harder to be known for those keywords that people might be searching for real estate services. And what's interesting to me is it's not just that, okay, so here's the first version of what you'll find out. You're going to start right here. Here's Zillow, here's Homes.com, here's Trulia, and they've got some Remax in there, but these are the big players now. And Google, according to Google now, these are the people that they put near the top because they think they should be there, and that's okay. That's all right. There's Zillow in there. But Zillow also and some of the other big places will also pay to have ads in the top too. So it's getting harder and harder to rank in this area. And if you do get your ad, if you do want to place your ad under these, I'm gonna guarantee you that these links, in other words, what you'd have to pay someone to get yourself here so they see you first, maybe even before down in these what we call organic searches, the ones that Google deems as authoritative. To get here, this is going to cost a 1 to 2 to 3 clicks. That's $1 to $2 to $3 for someone to click through, someone to click on yours. So most Facebook real estate most real estate advertising has gone to Facebook. That's just where it's gone. And for example, if you want to be in these pay-per-click ads in Google, not only do you have to pay anywhere from 75 cents to $3, sometimes $4 a click to get to be able to get someone be able to entice them to click on you. It gets expensive, and not only that, but you don't have a lot of factors to determine who you want your ad to be put in front of. It's like a local, international, national view. You don't really get to decide demographics like who do I want to put that in front of? Do I want to put that my pitch in front of someone that's 32 years older and is a homeowner already, or has showed through their online behavior that they're likely to move, or that might be living within a specific geographical area of the area that I want to do business in as a real estate professional? Because I don't want to push, if I'm selling in Salt Lake, well, I live in Payson, that's 60 miles south. I don't want my ad seen by people in Salt Lake. I want it seen by someone around in Payson, because that's where I work. I'm not going to drive 60 minutes to show a house on the freeway. Anyway, so you can see what a lot more is happening now, that realtors have gone from moving from pay-per-click to get in front of people they don't know with their services. And that's why Facebook has really earned its keep. It's really been the place now that you can do some really cool stuff that hopefully I'm going to be able to show you today. So you can do that. Now, we're having another webinar 2 weeks from today, and that's going to be about the topic about generating buyer leads. And is generating a buyer lead any easier than a seller lead? Well, of course it is. Obviously, there's a big, let's face it, when it comes to listing, as a listing agent, you're the driver of the bus. You got the listing. The buyer's going to be coming to you with the offers, which is great. Listing agents last. You guys have heard that before. By the way, your goal should be, and this is just something in my coaching world that I've learned, that you should have a goal of 3 sides closed for every listing you do take. So that means you have the listing side, so you get paid for representing the seller, and there's a good chance that home, if marketed properly, should generate at least 2 other people that are interested in the home that might either buy the house, that's the buyer side, or see the house and engages you in a conversation if they don't have a realtor already. And they say, hey, you don't like this house? Great. Let me show you what else is available in the area. And so that should always be a standard to try to shoot for. Can't do it every time, but that should be a standard you shoot for, is to get at least 3 sides closed for every listing you take. So that's why taking listings it's powerful. And by the way, I work with agents across the country, and in most areas, it's a seller's market. I know definitely where Gabe is broadcasting from today in South San Francisco. Definitely, it's a seller's market. You get the listing, you're king of the hill, or queen of the hill. You're in charge. So in most areas across the country, listings are hard to come by. His listings are down typically 15 to 20% over last year, and that's in smaller areas and that's in larger areas. So being on the listing side, there's no doubt that's the place to go. I always want to share with you that the RealBird is really a toolbox that you got to dive into. It can be overwhelming understanding all the tools that are available. And I've run into people that sign up for RealBird and they say, I want to know everything it does. Just show me everything. And you don't need to know everything at the start, but you need to know a few things that I think are really important. And number one, and I go over this on every one of the webinars that I started, get all your listings, whether they're sold, active, or pending, get them in your RealBird. When they're in your RealBird account, that you can do a whole bunch of stuff with them. With them not in your RealBird account, you can do less things. You can still do a lot of things, but nowhere near as much as if you get all your listings in there. And if you have sold listings that you know, maybe 2-3 years ago, I don't care, get a picture up there, upload a picture, upload the address, upload a description of the property when you sold it. Okay, you don't have to put the date it sold. You don't have to even put a price you sold for it, because it might have been 4 or 5 years ago. And if you put in there, people are gonna say, "Oh my gosh, you as a realtor, you really sold that one under the market because they're going this now." That's okay. Don't put a price in it. Okay. And by the way, put yours in as what you represented as a seller and a buyer. What are the listings you represented with a buyer? It doesn't say in that listing when you put it in the listing publisher, which is the RealBird part. It doesn't say whether you were the seller or you represented the buyer. So get that listing in there. Gosh, by the way, it'll still be syndicated and shared out there, and it'll share somewhat of your success so that the universe or the World Wide Web knows that you were successful in that neighborhood, ground in neighborhood. But believe me, we're talking about seller leads today. That's really important. To be known as the expert in an area, that's very important. And by the way, there's also another tool, and we're going to actually use this tool today in a little different way, and that's to create like an ad that we might want to place in Facebook to show, you know, when people start seeing plotted houses on a little map and a graphic, it gets them excited. It's like, oh, what's for sale in my area? And it gets them to click. And we're going to, if we're talking about using Facebook to place seller ads and attract sellers, we need graphics that are going to grab people. Don't forget that. Got to have something, a graphic that grabs. Let's just keep that in your head. And that's, by the way, it's not only for the people that you want to entice to click on your ad, but it's also for Facebook. If you go placing an ad in Facebook and the graphic that you use is not, you know, crisp and clear, interesting enough, might have too much writing on it. If you don't consider that in a way, Facebook's not going to approve your ad, and they won't put it out there because they want ads. Remember, they're making money off it too. They're making money from you. You're making money with the ads you place. If your ads are not graphically pleasing, people are going to click on them, and it's going to make them look good. They want ads that show up, you know, in people's timelines and such on the right-hand side. They want them to be interesting and not something that's kind of boring or washed out or unclear or fuzzy. That just doesn't work. Okay. Okay, so we're going to use these two parts of the RealBird brain a little bit differently today because we want to attract sellers. Okay, all right. So just a little basics. I always like to explain this a little bit because it could be confusing. You have in your Facebook world, you have two sides to you, just like there's two sides to the RealBird brain. There's two sides to the Facebook brain. Okay, and the entry gate is through your personal profile, and I have to explain that to agents sometimes because it is confusing. You have your personal side, which is the side of Facebook that is your personal profile. Let's see if I can pull my profile up. Yeah, let me put my profile up. Okay, here's my profile. I happen to be a picture where I live. It's a picture. Anyway, I have my cover image here. So anyway, this part looks kind of like a Facebook business page, but the key is here. I have friends here. I have a few friends. I don't have likes. On a business page, this would say likes. Okay, and then you have like a call to action button if you want to have it. So, okay, so their personal profile is the gateway that you get into your business profile where you can build a business page for the world to see. And literally the world can see it. As to where your personal, they're going to have to kind of know you, or people are going to have to know someone that you know to be able to maybe even see a little bit of this page. But they're not going to see all of it till you've let them in and you invite them as friends and accepted friend requests and such. So, but here's the key. When you first log into Facebook, you log in through your personal profile. If you screw this up, you close the gate. So you could have a great Facebook business page that is past this personal page. Okay, and I'll show that in a second. But if you've gone in here and lived your life and shared all kinds, and I want you to share all kinds of parts of you in your timeline. I got my grandkids and kids in there, and things I've shared with and such like that. That's fine. Nice bottle of Worcestershire sauce. Okay, so you might be sharing things about your life with family and friends. in your personal profile. But if you start sharing, like I actually liked someone's post on here, and that's why it showed up here. But if you share too much business in here, or like you're trying to conduct business or promote your business in through here, and Facebook comes down and slaps you, they're shutting off your personal profile. And that's your gateway to your business. Say, well, hey, I got, 1,000 likes on my Facebook business page. And guess what? You're going to be out of luck. So it's careful. Now, I've seen agents really go out of the way to post a lot of business stuff on the personal side. Now, I think what's appropriate is sharing, life in the day of a realtor. Hey, it was great. Here's a picture of John and Mary, me handing them the keys. I was happy to share this day with them as a realtor. This is one of those proud moments when, they're first time buyers, and I was helping them, because in a way it's business, but it's kind of it's kind of life in the day in the life of a realtor. That's okay to share. You were able to close today. It's not openly promoting, hey, come list with me now because I helped John and Mary. Okay, so that I've seen done, but I've seen the agents to go too much in here, and I've seen them shut down. So you got to be careful there. Okay. All right. So there's the personal side. Now I'm going to share with you that I think it's important to be active in this world and share parts of your life with everybody, because the more you do, the more your audience becomes. The more friends you have, the more people that are connected with you. That is the people that are connected to my 597 friends. And there are a lot, okay? So all those things can have an influence of how big your sphere is or can be when you post content in your business side. Now, a lot of agents, now I'm going to tell you, nobody taught me that. I learned that from experience, is that the more you have, the more you interact personally in your sphere, the more you have that that you can share your business page with, so that people like it. The more opportunity that they have to grow your audience on your business side. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to pull up. Here's Susan Rupert. This is her Facebook business page. She happens to be one of our RealBird clients, and also a client of mine to help her with their marketing. And we're going to be doing some stuff with her profile today. Let's go ahead and the front page of her page. She's got likes. Notice your likes and a call to action. That's how you know. Okay, that's how you know it's a business page. And by the way, it doesn't cost anything to build a business page. Can you build more than one? Yeah, absolutely you can. Be careful. Don't dilute your brand that you're trying to promote. More than. It's hard to promote more than one Facebook business page. Okay, so she has a certain amount of likes. Let's see, I've already liked it. I don't want to unlike it. No. And then she can show how many people are following and such, all kind of stuff. Okay. All right. By the way, you can make your business page, you can make it your main page so that people don't even see your personal profile. And you can do it. I wouldn't recommend it because you need that non-business side to build a sphere, so that when and just give an example. Here's an article I just posted just about an hour ago. This happens to be, I posted from her website, happens to be an article service called KCM, or Keeping Current Matters, that creates these awesome articles to put out to the public, and I put them on her website, and then it syndicates to her Facebook page. And in the last hour, that's already been seen, by 5 people. And that doesn't seem like a much, but within an hour, you can see some of these other articles we posted, they've been seen by more. So my clients that I help out with that don't do a lot on the personal side, you'll see that she has like 36, 20, 23. This is kind of organically. This is not that she paid to boost these yet. We'll talk a little bit later about boosting. Here's 39 people in the last, this last couple of days that have seen this. Now she's posting some stuff too, also on her on here as well. This type of reach is larger with people that are active on the public side, on their non-business side. I have some of my clients that I posted some of the same content using this article service, and they'll have like 1, 2, 3 people seeing, being reached by these tools. Okay, so I want to just let you be aware of that. That be active in your personal side, but don't be too promoting in the business side. But when you go to create an ad, which we're going to talk about today, for attracting sellers using the RealBird tools and Facebook, you're going to have an opportunity to say, hey, who do you want to see that ad? Do you want the people that have liked your Facebook page, or that like your Facebook page and the people that they know? Or you can do what we call a haven't met sphere of influence that you can buy into, and then have your ad. And we're going to talk about that, how to create an audience, a custom audience to put in front of what you're willing to offer. Okay. All right. All right. So I just be aware of that. You don't want to tick the Facebook gods off, because if they shut you off on the personal side and you have a great Facebook business page with likes, no one will ever see it. They'll be locked out of there. Okay. All right. So as a premier listing agent, what are some of the things you can do? Obviously, it's a little ethereal. It's easier to get a buyer's lead, because if you can share information about, here's a listing for sale, here's a listing I found for sale, and you're the source of that, and you can put that in front of people, that's a lot easier to generate a buyer's lead than a seller's lead. A seller's lead, you got to build trust. You got to build that you're the agent they should call because you've had success in that neighborhood. And show you how you can show that. You can show that limit. You need to be able to, I think you need to be able to say, hey, this is what I do. Don't just come list with me because I guess you could say that. I've shown that I'm the top listing agent in the area, or it's sold for more than the home would normally sell for. I mean, there's a lot of things you could tout as a listing agent, but you need to think about what that is in your case. As a premier listing agent, and this isn't just an affirmation list, but I really think you need to list, why people should list with you. I think you need to know what's unique benefits and experience that you have. If you're new into the business, then you need to borrow some experience, or you need to add some other things to it. Well, hey, I grew up in this area, I know the area. But basically, I think it's important for you, and I left 5 open because I want you to be thinking about that. Why should people list with you? Because I think you need to have those reasons in front of you and lined out. Janie Coffey is a gal that's been very successful in the 2 different markets in Florida. And I know she shared with us, I know she had on her website, just put a note here. Amazing, she called it the Amazing Listing Program. Okay. And she put it right on her website. Now, her website, she took it down because she's now over more agents and such like that. But basically what it was is it was 49 things that she may do. She didn't promise to do them all, right? But hey, if you list me, these are 49 things that we may do. And the list was so overwhelming. It's like, oh my gosh, I listed my home before. It didn't sell. My listing agent didn't do that. Anyway, what is your 49 thing list? It doesn't have to be 49 items, but be clear in your mind what you do. I know, for an example, one of the agents I work with this week was Donald Horn from Lapeer, Michigan, and he uses advanced, video marketing in his listings to attract people that want to buy. One of the examples he talks about. He has a video that he shares on his website about drones, how he might use drone photography, and that not all agents in his area in Lapeer, Michigan do that. Well, that might be one of the tools that he may use to sell your home. So take the time to be clear. What is your amazing listing program? And I know a lot of agents have said, well, I don't want to share it publicly, because if I share it publicly, then my next competitor will steal my ideas. Forget about that. If you're driving your real estate car, looking through the rearview mirror that somebody else might be chasing you with, you're going to crash. Look through the windshield. I always say that. Look forward. Look through the windshield. Wash your windshield first, then look through the windshield. Say, what am I doing forward? What are the forward things that you're doing? Be bold with that. Because here's what it comes down to. When you get a seller's leads, it's a good chance the life cycle of that seller lead might be 3 to 18 months out before they want to sell their home. So you might be, casting your hook in the water with the worm or lure to lure that seller in to come work with you. That's kind of what we're talking about here today. But understand, they might be nibbling on that worm for a little bit before you set the hook. So you have to be ready to know, how am I gonna How am I going to keep in touch with that seller till they're ready to buy? So you have to be thinking about that. And guess what? You have to have a plan. So don't skimp out on that plan. How are you going to keep them engaged till they're ready? By the way, it's one of the best ways I've heard when you do get them on or start getting them on the hook and start reeling them in is hey, I realize you're not ready to sell. You might not be ready to sell right now. You're just thinking about it or you're just curious. That's fine. Let me contact you. I'd love to get a little bit of information. I can put you on a system that'll let you know what's coming on the market in your neighborhood. So you can kind of see what other buyers might be looking at, that might be looking to buy in your neighborhood where your home might soon have a for sale sign on it. And things like that. There's a lot of layers of service that you get through your MLS that you might have through your brokerage. Obviously tools that we're going to share through RealBird today, where they can get an idea, where it's a tool that you can use in between to kind of incubate that seller lead till they're ready to say, okay, I'm ready to sign a listing contract and have you stick a sign in my lawn and break my sprinkler pipe. I have to call my landscaper or gardener to come fix it. No, I'm joking. Okay, so let me back here. Okay, so be clear about what you have that's different, and lay out a plan, lay out a strategy. Hopefully, I'm giving you some ideas today on how to create that and what to put in it. Okay, all right. You got to know the intention. Anytime you're going to place an ad or put something in front of someone where you want them to take action, you got to know what their intent is. What's in their heads? What are their fears? What are their frustrations? What are their concerns? Fears. Hey, if I hire you to sell my house, I don't have another house to move into yet. Believe it or not, that's a fear. Particularly in the tight sellers market, like it is in a lot of areas in the country, that is a fear with sellers, is do I have a place to move to? And what happens if I sell my house quick? You do a great job for me. We price it right. We sell, and I have no place to move to. I can't find a house for me. And that's, believe it or not, that's something you have to think about. And sometimes with the realtor hat on, it's hard to think like that. Okay. A lot of them are considered, what is their value? What can I even sell my house for? I've made a lot of improvements over the years, but gosh, I bought the house, when this neighborhood was, 25 years ago when this neighborhood was 150,000. Now I think the homes are going for around 450. I don't know. And by the way, this is the biggest question. I put in blue, that's a good question, because that is the biggest question to people that are considering selling. Remember, it might be 3 months, 18 months down the line, but that's the biggest thing. What would my home sell for? I don't know. And by the way, there's no exact thing. Gosh, if they go to Zillow, it might be accurate, it might not be accurate. A lot of places, the Zestimate is not very accurate. And Zillow's been asked that why, but basically they say that Zillow has in different parts of the country where they get their valuation models from or differently. Some it's from tax records, which is probably the most accurate, because that means that's exactly what the house sold for, and tax records would show that. But some other Zillow gets it from other areas as well. So estimates can't always be true, and you can't always trust them. So a potential seller, they don't want to know. They want to know. That's why they need you, the local real estate expert. That's what they need. And that's why you need to communicate. Everything you do in your marketing and what you pitch in front of people needs to be about that. Is how can I communicate that I'm the local real estate expert and the one that should be trusted to help them sell their home the quickest amount of time, least amount of trouble to them and the family for the highest price the market will bear. Right? Those are the old things, the goals that seller's agent should have. Okay, so what would my home sell for today in today's market? What would it really sell for? What did my neighbor's house just sell for, or just sell for? I don't know. People want to know that. Sometimes they're just nosy. Guess what? But if that is the pitch that you're using, it's a good one, because it means people that might just be nosy want to know if maybe my value of my house went up. I'm going to stay here till I'm grandparents and I'm never going to sell this house. But it's a great question that gets a lot of people engaged, whether they're willing to sell or not. Now, obviously, we want to get people that want to sell, but if it interests them and it's a good pitch, okay, it could get them to pull the trigger and click or text you their information. depending on what you put in your ad. Okay. So, and by the way, knowing what your house full of people are just naturally nosy. They are. And you can lean into that. Okay. What do I need to do or know to get ready to sell? So I'm going to just show you a few tools. By the way, pitching a report, that they can get a report on what their neighbor's house just sold for. That's an invitation for you to generate a report out of your MLS. You know, if you get enough information, what's your neighborhood, what's your address. Okay, I can generate a report. You can generate a report out of most MLSs that can then answer that question, or after you've made the pitch and they've responded or left information with you. What would my home sell for today's market? There's some tools out there that'll do kind of an instant valuation that you could create and then send people to with an article or a link or an ad, and that'll give them instant valuation. Some of those tools are as little as $30 a month. Some of the tools are as much as $200 a month. Some of them more accurate than others. So feel free to contact me. I'll share my contact information afterwards if you're looking for a tool like that. Okay, so these are some of the things. Here, text me back what I want to know. So I just want to show you some examples of those things, and so that you can see what we're talking about. Okay, and then we're going to talk about actually creating an ad today, and placing an ad, and creating an audience, and talking about that as well. So, okay, so let's talk about they need a local real estate expert. So when you put all your listings, like I talked about, inside your RealBird account, all those that you represented, even the buyer, the seller, even though I know we're trying to attract sellers today. But let's go to Susan Rupert. Let's go to her website. This is a page I happen to build on her website. But this is all built out of RealBird tools. You guys are here, probably RealBird customers, and you want to see how to be able to use that more. So she's done a pretty good job. Susan has probably the last 5-6 years putting her listings in here. Some buyers, these are mainly her homes she's listed. I would encourage her to go further and put the homes she represents as buyers as well, because it doesn't say in a listing, it just says sold. It doesn't say whether she was the seller or she represented the seller of the buyer side. But this is impressive. I mean, if you're looking to list a home in and around the Penn State area, and that's Penn State College is kind of like her main area, you can see that she's been pretty busy all around there in the State College area. So I was able to create that map out of her RealBird account, because for all these listings she uses RealBird, and they're marked all sold. And also I showed them in a different way here. These are actually the same properties but listed in kind of a Pinterest style, which is really cool. And just for a quick how-to, let me dive into her RealBird area to show how I created that. Okay, under listing marketing in RealBird, and then widgets. Okay, and then for the Pinterest style, I chose her solds. Unclick the active. I like the large listing blocks. I like the listing title. You don't have to show the viewer count. That's not much need to them, since they're already sold. And go preview and code. Hit the code. There we go. And it's clear that it's sold. And you could click on that to see the full listing. Here's that full listing. It's clear that it's sold. We're not trying to sell the house again while the happy family she put in it, is in there. So you grab that code, and then you'd go inside your page in your website on the HTML side, or if you're in a WordPress site, it's text, and you want to paste that code. Now, how I got the other code to put above it, the map, let me show you how I did that. I went to listing marketing. I went to widgets, and I looked for, listing marketing, widgets. There we go. Listing map. That's what we want. Okay, now we're talking. And then those are active listings right now, but let me click sold, because it always defaults to the active. So I mark sold, and I just do preview code, and then you'll see all those listings right there. Okay, and you can zoom the map out if you want. But then you're grabbing this code, and that's what you're pasting into your page. And how I did it on her page is I basically, here, I'll just show you that to you so you can see it. So she happens to have WordPress, which has two tabs, one for visual and one for text. And when you have HTML, you want to paste it in here. The HTML. I always want to show this because not everybody has WordPress website. You might have, when you create a new page, you might want to look for, on the editor, you look for this symbol, which means add the HTML here, or it might just say HTML. I'm sorry, HTML. And if it's a WordPress site, you want to look for text. And that's the button. So either one of those should get you into place where you take that code that RealBird gives you and you paste that in there. Okay? All right. So we want to be able to show her as the expert, and I think RealBird gives you that tool. You can do that. But if you haven't taken this advice right here to get all your listings in there, it might be kind of a bare map, or you might not show a lot. So take the time and effort. I'm telling you, if it's a sold listing, it's a picture and it's an address and a small description. Literally, and you probably have the description already written somewhere. This is literally per listing. You're taking 5 minutes, maybe 5, maybe 10 at the, I don't know, even 5 minutes. But get them in there so you can leverage those listings. Okay. All right. So what would my home sell for in today's market? Now she has some tools. I found a really cool tool I can tell you about later. But it's and I actually pointed domain name to it. It's a tool that you can embed. I've created a really cool tool that says, hey, what is your state college pay home worth? Get your answer here, and they put in an address. And there's lots of tools, lots of services that provide this tool. I happen to found the one that does it the least expensive way. I happen to embed it in our website rather. Some people want to use like a landing page to where they there's no branding or no marketing. I don't like that. I want to start getting branding. I want to see what else you have on your website and your links and your 5-star, whatever. But so I found a way to kind of embed this, and then, by the way, you put your address in here and it'll kind of recognize, I'll start putting mine in there. Okay, so on mine is Saddlebrook Drive, see it's recognizing my address. I click go, and it gives a lot of kind of cursory information. By the way, is this everything that everybody needs to know? Is this all the information you need to do a complete evaluation of their home? No, it's not. But it's a start. But you have to let people know, hey, there's more information to give you a more accurate report. Let's meet. When can we meet? Let's schedule a little bit online meeting, or maybe I stop by or something like that. So all that's happening, and you see that's all happening within our website. So some really cool tools out there that help you do that. Like I say, as little as $30 a month, as little as much as $200 a month. Okay, so by the way, I'll just fill my name just so you can kind of see what. Get an idea there what I'm interested in. Just curious. Click for the report, and it's going to give me a little bit of report of what it should go for, low range, high range. But obviously, hey, we want to meet some more. Here's some of the solds happening in the area that recently. So anyway, so lots of cool things you can do, but I just wanted to show you that you can take that a little further. Okay, what did my neighbor's house sell for? Now that's a great one. That's a great question. This is where, to me, you would use your to answer that question. Obviously, we can create the ad and say anything we want on the ad. We want to be able to click on it. That's where you would go into your MLS and you could generate a report. If you gather enough information for them when they click on the lead, they fill in a box, fill in form, their name, their email, their phone. Sometimes you have to go minimum, just their name and email, but you got to have their address so that you can generate the report for them and start the conversation. Definitely email or phone number or both. I wouldn't always make the phone mandatory on your form on the other side, because a lot of times, like I said, these people are out of ways before they're willing to maybe give up exactly everything about them, who they are, but at least try to get a name and an email and you got to have their address. Those three, that's like minimum. Okay, what do you need to do? What do you need to do to know to get ready to sell? Now, to me, that's a great pitch. There's some great tools out there. I can show you what I've used for some of my clients. There's a great tool out there called Keeping Current Matters. These guys write articles that you can then curate for your website, and then they generate 5 articles a week, which are incredibly well written, have great images that you can use in the articles they give you. They actually have monthly market reports that you can generate to your database, and they have here. Let me pull up her site again. Susan's site. So one of the things they do is they provide these really cool, well-written buyer's guides or seller's guides, and I'm able to put that on her website, curated by her. They fill out the information, and they get it on demand. And they're very well written. They come out with one every quarter, so it's like summer, winter, fall. You know, they come up with a different guide. See, there we go. I'm on demand. I'm getting that. So this is might be a tease, and this is a nice PDF. They actually give you a print-ready copy, and it's all branded by you. They brand it by you. But it's some really good information, and people. So this is another bait, right? Bait that you can use to get people to come and that's the reason I'm showing you some of these ideas that might be outside of RealBird, but I'm just showing you that some resources where you can get some of these resources to use some of these tools. Okay, so obviously them filling out this form that you would have. Anyway, this service with KCM, they create these articles. I think one of them you already saw on our website. Let me go there, click. Here we go. So not only do they give the guides, but the articles on her website. Let's see where I'm right. Here we go. Yeah, like this is one I just posted that I ever had some people read on, and this is a great tool. Now, as a member of this KCM, they charge you $20 a month, worth every bit, just for the graphics and the reports and the articles that you can have branded to you and branded by you as a professional. Remember, because to trust you, you know, to be my listing agent, I want to know that you're professional and you're helping with me tools to get, you know, along the path till I'm ready to list with you. This is one that just came out, this article that just came out like in the last day. And this is a great thing to have. You can print this out and leave this. By the way, once you initiate that lead, and if you get the address of someone, this might be part of a pre-package that you drop on their door to, you know, say, hey, I'm leaving a report, to build that rapport. So look at this. Getting your house ready for market is a great resource for finding local contractors who can help. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. So it's KCM. It's called Keeping Current Matters, or KCM.com. Either one gets you there. And it's a great tool, $20 a month, great tool for that. Because once again, we need something to build trust and show ourselves as an expert, okay? Now, what about text me back of what I want to know? So in your ad, there's tools in RealBird that you can use. So first of all, now, RealBird's a tool you're probably made a commitment of about 100 to 120 a year, depending on when you signed up for it. And there's another add-on tool that you can add onto your RealBird. It literally costs, I don't know, $2, $3 at the month. I've never seen anybody pay over $4 a month for this tool. And all the things it can do. And basically what it does is it lets you create a custom SMS code that people can text to. Now, there's a very low adoption or very low aversion to clicking and having someone be text something or request it, hey, text to get this to your phone. For some reason, they feel that's a little away from emailing or calling me on the phone, or here's my phone number. A little do that most of people know that by using a text tool like this, you actually are giving them, or they are giving you their phone number. Okay, but it is there. And for example, I already showed you the page that I created for Susan showing all her sold listings. And I set it up so if you were to text sold homes, and that's a custom link I created, and you're able to text it to that number, you will be taken to the page that shows all her listings. So she could say, hey, you want to see what I've sold in the area? You know, click sold homes in Penn State or State College sold homes or something like that. And they say, wow, and then they get this page, then they have this page taken to their on their mobile phone. So pretty cool way to be able to see that and see what's going on. So think about that. You can be creative in a way. How would I use that? How would I use that SMS? So this might be, say if I did, okay, so Park Forest is a neighborhood that a very kind of desirable neighborhood there in State College area. I mean, the golf course is surrounded by golf courses and forests and trees. It's just a beautiful place. And a lot of people want to get in that neighborhood. And so maybe we might create an SMS code like Park Forest sold. I don't know if you can see that and blow it up a little bit. And maybe I link that to a page on your website. Now, she happens to have a page on her website that's just about Park Forest Village, because it's kind of like an area. And look at that. We took the widget from RealBird to show that she just sold the home. We took the widget from this listing that she sold in Park Forest, and that's part of our look at view. It's just kind of like an online bulletin board, and here's homes for sale. But I can link to that page. I'd grab that link, right? And I could go back to the SMS and say, okay, I want that. Or I could say, what's for sale? I'll just put Park Forest for sale, because that way I'm not wasting a link here. Park Forest for sale. Okay, so now I create that link. So if you were to go down there, and I'm open your mind and creative-wise and see, gosh, how can I use that? How can I leverage that to make it easy to get someone to this place, to the place I want them, I want them to look at and explore. Park Forest for sale, and they text that, they're going to be taking that page. And that's pretty cool. So hopefully I opened your mind. So this is cool that RealBird provides you a tool. Now you do have to sign up for a Twilio number. To get your own Twilio number, you pay $1 a month, and I think you pay like 2 to 3 cents per lead to use the service. So I know it's like, it's so cheap you're not going to know you paid for it. I guess that's a good way to put it. And I have other RealBird clients that do a whole bunch of these, like for each one of their areas, and make it easy, and then use them when they're texting and when they text out to people. And anyway, it's just a great tool to be able to easily get someone to a place you want them to. And then, of course, if they use the tool, you're going to get them as a lead in your RealBird lead area, and you'll see their phone number that they used, their cell phone. Pretty cool. Okay, so you have to be creative. So texting them, having references to show you as an expert in selling, giving them the tools they need to get ready to sell, finding out what their neighbor's home sold with, maybe what their home might sell with. These are all tools that you can use on the other end of what you're pitching, on the other end of the ad that you might place. Okay, I want to, here we go. So there's lots of different ways to pick your pitch, what I call pick your pitch. One of the ways is you can boost a post. You can place a post in Facebook, and you can boost it. I'm just pulling up I'll go ahead and pull up her post here. Now this happens to be a listing that I posted an hour ago, where I was able to just grab the link in RealBird and was able to post it. And now that this is here, I can actually boost this post. And let's go do that. Okay, so let me show you a couple different ways you can do that. So obviously you can grab a listing from RealBird. Now a listing is really more you're looking for buyers for that leads, but if you can actually you can actually create an audience for what you post or what you promote in Facebook around a geographical area, and you can do that. So I actually took a link here, and I posted the link. Here we go. And I posted the link. So I open the link, I grab the link, and I go in Facebook. How did I do that? I'm here in the Facebook business, and I paste it in there. Okay. And it's going to start to build that ad. And then and by the way, you can add other pictures, and I recommend you do. Okay. And then you can click publish, or you can boost the post. Either one's going to get the job done. But I would take a little time to add a few more images there. So I, go up and add, a picture of the living room or the family room or the basement or whatever you want to do, and then click publish. So once you have posts that are already in here, okay, I'll just save this draft. There we go. Okay. So once you're in here already, you can boost a post. So that's one of the ways that you can share content that you want people to click on. So and by the way, it doesn't have to be a listing. Maybe that you're posting an article, like this is the article. This is the article about things you need to know when you're selling your house for sale. Well, guess what? I can boost that as a post. I can boost this article. I can boost it, or I can place an ad and do that as well. Some people say the boosting the post can get more expensive. I've been able to, let me show you my ad manager, because I do this for my clients that I work with on a regular basis. I've had a lot of success with placing ads boosting could be, like I say, boosting could be a little more expensive. But I've been able to get, let me give you an idea. There's some of that campaigns that I've run before. I'll let that load. It's still loading a little more. Okay, I'll come back to it because it's still loading. It takes a little bit to load. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I've been pretty successful getting good click-throughs for the ads that I do and not spending a lot. Remember I was talking about spending anywhere from 75 cents to $3, maybe even sometimes $4 in really sought-after areas for clicks, for people to click through on like Google? Well, this is 8 cents, 11 cents, 9 cents, 49. That one's a little more expensive. That was a home valuation page, that PA Homesworth I shared with you. That was 49 cents a click, a bit more, but still, to get that much clicks for that few cents, it's pretty good. I've seen other people that pay a lot more than that when they run Facebook ads for success. So you can do pretty good. Okay, where am I? Facebook. Oh, jumping around a little bit here. So I need to get out of. Let's get back to Facebook here. Okay, so boosting a post is one of the ways that you can boost what you've posted in your Facebook business timeline. Okay. But you can also create an ad, and there's different ways that you can create an ad. I'm just going to share with you that the ads need to have the image that grabs, not just text. And you can't have too much text. And you can't have too much text, like if you're writing some text on a picture. Now a lot of you might not all have Photoshop like I have. So I dug back into some of my basic tools that came with my PC computer. I don't have a Mac, I have a PC. One of them is Paint, and I was able to go in here, find a great image that I think will grab people. By the way, this is Mission Viejo. That's only 10 miles from the ocean, and there's mountains there with snow on it. That's a picture that grabs. This happens to be the Lake Mission Viejo Lakes, and it happens to be a picture. It's kind of interesting. Obviously, it's summer, so that makes it interesting with snow in Mission Viejo, where it's probably going to be 100 degrees today. But this is on the lake, and then you see snow. It's an interesting picture. And then my call to action it was, what are homes selling for in the Mission Viejo Lakes community? Find out, text, and then I used the tool like I would use in RealBird, MV Lakes Homes. Text that to this number. And here's who I am. And obviously, when you place an ad, it's going to be clickable as well. So you can have them taken to a website where they can give out their information if they don't want to text. But that might be that they just text. And by the way, if they just read the text, you don't get charged for the click. If you're placing an ad where they can just see your text number and text. In other words, they don't charge you. Now you would charge maybe 2 cents on the RealBird, Twilio SMS side for the text. Or it might be that you have your phone number in there, your regular phone number, and they just call you. So anyway, I did this ad in about 5 minutes using Paint. Everybody has Paint and has a PC computer. Now, I don't have a Mac, but you might use Publisher. You might use Photoshop if you have Photoshop. There's a free service out there called Canva. I really like this tool. I haven't used it a lot. I have used it some, but the tool is free, and you can create ads that you would use. Say, okay, I need to place an ad on Facebook, and you'll pick a template for that, and then you just have to rework the template. But they have a free version that is literally awesome. That you can. That's why 10 million people have joined it. There's just some really, really cool tools. I happen to use Photoshop. I know pretty well, and I do some pretty cool things. One of the ads that you might create is, oh, by the way, here's another free tool called Jing. Let me see if I can let's find it on here. I got it on here somewhere. Okay, so it happens to be a tool where I can capture anything on a screen and take a picture of. I capture that and I name it. Really cool. Let me see if I can do this. So one of the tools you can use in that property search, remember we talked about that. So see, for example, Susan wanted to place an ad. Let's talk about Park Forest Village. Here it is right here. This really cool Park Forest Village area. And she wants to create it and, to show what's in that area. So she might capture this. And of course, you can embed this on a page and link to it on your website. But I have this really cool tool down here called Jing, and this is free. And I can maybe take a picture of that, okay, and show, what's for sale there. I'm just grabbing some snippet there. And I might say, okay, Park Forest. Village homes. And maybe I might create my ad with that tool. Okay. And I use that as a graphic. Now, let's see. This is cool. So I'll pull up my history, pull up that. You can do all kinds of cool tool things with this. So like I can put text on it. Okay. Okay. What would your park forest home sell for? Pull it down a little bit. See it? Doesn't have to be red box. You can do all the different colors. And then I could say, find out. Text me here. Text me here. And that could be all number whatever. So that's cool. Is you can make this really quick graphic. Make sure they see Park Forest Village. And this would be part of the ad that you create. Be careful not to write too much on the image, because when you create an ad, they don't want Facebook still wants the image to look interesting. Notice I tied in here Penn State, because that's probably an anchor point where people know where Penn State is, and they'll know where Park Forest Village is. Okay, I'm going to just say that. Okay, I wanted to dive. We have a little bit of time left, not as much as I want, but I want to dive in there and show you how to create an audience for that. So if I was to do that ad for Susan, I would go, let's create an ad. And you can create an audience, custom audience. Remember I told you have a whole bunch of different ways. So I'm going to actually do that. Okay, I'm going to use, let's see, here's where you left off. Let me start over. Okay, I usually like to traffic. I want them to bring traffic to what I want to show them. And I'll just call it Park Forest Village to sell. That's for me. That's for attract people that want to sell in Park Forest Village. Continue. Okay, people, the homes in Park Forest Village are a little cut above, not first-time home buyers, right? Get away. Come on. There we go. So I'm going to call that, it's going to be Park Forest. I'm creating an audience that I might be able to use again later. Park Forest Village, State College. Okay. I'm going to send them to, when they click on the ad, I'm going to send them to a place I want them to go to, like a page on her website. Okay. See everything, maybe everything we sold in that area. Okay. So here's where I go my audience now. So who do I want to target? I want to target the people that are in and around State College. So that I'm going to pick a city, State College, Pennsylvania. Okay, there we go. Now that goes a little bit outside. I'm actually going to send it out 15 miles because there's a lot of people that want to move in closer to be closer to university. So I'm going to put that out to 50 miles. So that gives a nice radius out there that I think people attracted. Do I think somebody's going to afford a house as a target market that's 18 years old? No. This will probably be someone that's at least, because it's a little more upscale. It's a little more, I would say, probably 32 and older. Okay. All right. So that's one way to do it. So I can set the parameters, but I can also add other things. There's a discrimination here. I don't want to call it discrimination. That's terrible. Distinction of likely to move. Let's say likely to move under the real estate tab. So there's likely to move. So I can say, okay, add to that because it's like a cafeteria. We'll build an audience here. Likely to move. You want to get this button up to where it's at least 20,000 people that are seeing your ads. That's just generally try to get it up to 20,000. 1,900 is not enough. So if you get too specific, it might go down in people. So this is likely to move 1,900 people shown by their behaviors on Facebook within this area that over 32 years old and 65 plus as well, and all, not just women, men and women in whatever language. 1,900. That's not really broad enough. They're thinking about buying a house. Show that and see if that's going to go up. No, it's still about 1,900. So for this small kind of drilled in area, oh, by the way, you can also, I'm just going to show you a few different things. You can also add net worth. See, because Facebook knows what these people's net worth is. Believe it or not, they know that. So I can say, oh, net worth. I can, by the way, you can exclude or narrow the audience. You can pick that as well. So if I pick, here, let me go put it in here. I need to put in net worth. Here we go, net worth. There we go. And there's different levels of net worth. I think someone could buy a home in this area that's around 940, 980. I'm sorry, 240 to 280. Maybe their net worth needs to be really 100,000 plus. So you can pick those different options in there. So you got to be creative in here. And if you email me, I can get you a list of ones that shows like the current list of ones that you might build an audience by. This is a cafeteria. You're at the cafeteria, and you're bringing your plate, you're sliding your plate along. It's like, give me a scoop of that, give me a scoop of that. That's what you're doing. Now, I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I want to target someone maybe that might be within like 20 miles of this area and take out all of the parameters, because this might be that I want people to list with me because I'm a specialist in this area. So I want to target the people that are already living there. Okay. So so I would turn off likely to move. I would turn off that, and let's see. Okay, that's a pretty good audience right there. Now the thing I might pick in here to bring this down, if I'm advertising my seller services, I might put in here homeowner. Because that way I'm only talking to people that are homeowners. Let's see what that does. Estimate your audience is unavailable, okay? Might have to do a little more than if in a small enough area, 1180, okay. So what they're saying here is it's a little too small, so I might need to add other parameters. Now it says there that 11,875 people within that area are homeowners. It's a smaller area, likely to move, or then we're back up to, see, that's fewer than 1,000. You want to really get it up higher than that, but this is specific. This is specific to this area, so I might have to leave this there, and let me just put homeowner. So, but I guess I picked an area that's not as densely populated as other areas. If I did this in other areas and I move this out 1 or 2 or 3 miles in most neighborhoods and subdivisions that I want to target for selling, it wouldn't be hard to get to the 20,000 people within just a mile or 2 or 3. So, but in this area is not as dense. So I've got 2,000 people. So maybe that's okay. Maybe you want to put that. That's showing you 2,000 people are homeowners within there that are homeowners and likely to move. Let me take that one out just so I can see. And it's probably going to drop. See, it's going to drop down here, but I'm still around 12,000 people. Okay. So the idea is you can build that audience to whatever you want. And once you build that audience, you'll apply it. And just for showing you sake, I'm going to put likely to move. Oh, homeowners. Oh, whoa, I might have miscalculated. Let me see. Okay, homeowners. Let me see if that makes a difference. Okay. We are big. We can now bring that down. I was typing homeowners. My fault. Let me bring it down to someone. Let's just go like just right there around State College, closer in. Okay, you know what? That's not bad. Now, if I was trying to drill down to that neighborhood of Park Forest because I wanted to sell someone in that neighborhood, let me take it down to 10 miles. That's still pretty good. So okay, my fault. I was just typing homeowner. Okay, we're good. Okay, so this is going to tell me that this is I should expect to get this many link clicks out of 620, that's not bad. It's probably better than dropping a postcard, right? And here's my estimated daily results. Okay, so if I can save that audience, and I'll just put Park Forest again, just drilling down a little bit. Park Forest. Sellers, put sellers there. So now I can use that audience again if I want to place an ad again in that area. Okay, so by the way, you can put ads in Messenger now, the people that are connected with Messenger. That's new, that's brand new. Automatic placements, you automatically show to your audience the places they're likely to perform best. I like that one myself. That's pretty good. By the way, you don't have to do a budget of $20 a day. You can do as little as $5. Okay. Sometimes I've done more than that, but I get some pretty good clicks with just $5. Can't do less than $5. Okay, run my ad set continuously starting today. I like start and end date. Some people will tell you get more traffic that way, and I usually like to go. I'll test it out I like to go at least It's like 2 weeks. Okay. Your ad will run 45 days. You'll spend no more than that. So that's $5 a day. Okay. If you can't spend that much, then drop it down 7 days and try it. See, but you need to commit to a certain amount to get it. People seeing it. Okay. So automatic. They'll set the bid. They get the most. So you're competing. That's fine. I am okay with that. And then continue. And then here's where you'll create the ad, and make sure you connect it to your Facebook business page. Whatever, I have a lot of Facebook business pages that I'm over. So I clicked that one belongs to her. She also has an Instagram account connected. So we'll actually place that there. This is the one I like the best, carousel. And then what you'll do is you'll add these different images, right? You'll add images. And here's the first image, okay? And then you'll be changing these images, which you do. So here's select image. Right, so you have to pull it into the library first. So you have to feed the library first. So if I'm feeding the library, I'm clicking image there, I'm click opening. I'm actually putting images in this library that they give you. And then once you're in there, it's checked, it's in there. Then you can go ahead and use that image. Confirm that I just pulled it in. And the key here is to use a headline that's going to grab people. And they only give you 40 characters, okay? And then the description, they only give you 20. And then where you want them to send them to. Now that was where you would put in, if you're bringing them to a RealBird listing, you'd pull the link from your RealBird listing and put it in here. If it's a page within your website that's going to find out what their home is worth, then you put that in there. You can also, if they want to see more, you can put a secondary link there. And then I would go to the next one. See how that has, see that has 2 already? That's fine, you're on number 2. But then you can add more. Say, I always do at least 4. Find 4 images, and this is why. This is why I do the carousel. Because Facebook does their own internal measuring of what they're able to put in front of people based on what you're willing to pay. And they will randomize each one of these little pitches with a headline and an image and a link back to where you want them to go. They'll randomize it, and whatever starts getting clicked the most, they'll stick with that one. That's pretty cool that they do some of that kind of what they call split testing with you. Okay, and once you've done that and you picked your images and uploaded them to the library and you've selected a headline, obviously you got to fall within those parameters, then you're good to go. And obviously I already have a credit card connected to my Facebook account. These images that you might grab might be like the ones that I was just showing you in here. Remember we grabbed the image, like this is, hey, find out, what would your park forest home sell for? And when you'll add this image, but you'll still need a headline and details below. So don't try to put too much writing on the image that you'll be uploading, because otherwise they might kick you off. Because I could place this ad, and it'll say, okay, great, you placed your ad, you set your budget, you've set your carousel with the headlines where you want each of those versions of your ad to go to. Now wait till you get approved. Usually I get approved within an hour. Sometimes it's faster. I've been shut down a couple times where I try to put too much writing on the graphic that had too much writing, not a lot of pretty picture. Remember, pretty pictures, something that's going to grab people, that's what Facebook wants. Remember, it's a partnership between you and two. They're making money off you by you paying the $5 a day or whatever. You're making money off them and then sending you people that want to eventually spend money with you. So it's a partnership, so you got to have it looking good, okay? So anyway, I know I did that last part kind of quick. Hopefully that's enough details that you can go back and do your own part. Boosting a post is a quick and dirty way to get some traffic to something, to an offer. I've used it. I use both. Placing ad a carousel, that's the best. Build your audience cafeteria style, and good luck to you. I mean, there's a bit to think about before you start this process, but hopefully this will help you line some of these steps out. What you need to do, what's your pitch, what am I offering? Thinking about long-term, because sellers might not need to sell tomorrow. So you make sure you have things to share with them once they respond to your offer and what you placed with them, okay? So were there any questions? I know I didn't even ask for questions. I just dove into that, and I apologize for that. But a lot of ground to cover today. I want to make sure that we answer any questions, or how we do with that. Gabe, I know he went over a bit.
Yeah, there's no questions that I can see here. You must either everybody fell asleep or they need to digest this.
Hopefully in the recording they'll be able to soak up more of it. It is a bit technical, pulling the parts together, but don't be intimidated by it. The recording's coming to you so that you can go over it again. And the cool thing is when you watch it, you'll be able to fast forward and see the parts that you might have missed in between the snores if it puts you to sleep. Hopefully it's got you excited to get into the world of Facebook, because Facebook knows these people. It knows their intention. It knows what their net worth is. And this is a great opportunity. I mean, to get a click. And now I realize it's not a lead when someone clicks on an ad, but the first part is for them to see it, and paying, 8 to 9, 10, 11, 12 cents a click to get someone to see what you have to offer. That's pretty dang good. And
if I might add, I talk to a lot of agents every day, and I hear those agents who are working for like a large company, like, I don't know, Keller Williams or Remax or Colo, and they say, "Oh, my company has a lead generation program, and I'm part of it." But look, I mean, there's no way your brokerage, if that's the situation you're in, would know the local area. Real estate is local. Everything that Eric showed you here relies on the fact that you know a little bit your neighborhood, and you're targeting those people where you want to buy or sell.
And by the way, Zillow doesn't know those people either. I mean, Zillow,
yeah,
you know those people better than Zillow knows them.
So it's a tremendous advantage to have this skill now, right? As opposed to 10 years ago or 15 years ago, where people were sending a $300 check to the newspaper with a faxed copy ad, and then wait, and then that was it, right? What else could you do? Just call
becomes the
call
bottom
people
of the canary
individually.
cage. Yep.
Right, exactly. And so now we have this power. If you master it, you can be, the king of your domain.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing today. Thanks everybody for coming. We'll be back together in 2 weeks. So we're going to be talking about how to generate buyer leads. And so hopefully this was helpful to you. Come back again. We'd love to have you come and join us for our webinars or workshops. I don't like to call them webinars. You guys as realtors already webinared out. It's a workshop. Okay. And we'd love to have you come back to our next workshop and learn some more. Okay. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.
Have a good day and good weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye.